had a lot of great games this year that I wanted to put in the list. Shout out to Ho-Ho-Gum. But there was one that I knew had to make it, and that was The Vanishing of Ethan Carter. And the reason I did that was it accomplishes everything that it meant to accomplish, even in a short game. How immersive the world is from the second you're put into it, for how much it keeps you in suspense and on your toes. And the puzzles actually are incredibly intriguing, and you feel really smart when you finish them. I think that's something that a lot of games try to do, but they can't successfully pull it off. And The Vanishing of Ethan Carter, and you're able to figure out what happened and put them in the right order, and then you get to kind of watch them play out in this nice victory, this nice feeling, that reward for figuring everything out. It's really short, so it's certainly worth your time, and it's something that's stayed with me throughout the year, and I'm really glad I played it. I'm really glad that Sean McGinnis told me to play it, so I'll do the same in return, and everyone should try The Vanishing of Ethan Carter. Rockstar just completely outdid themselves, making a world that just feels so alive. And you don't have to play the campaign. Again, you can just run around. It's just an amazing, lucid world, and you just feel like you are in it. Especially now, the first person. Instead, I was Trevor. I was kind of like this insane person, but now I'm my own insane person. One of my best moments of 2014 was Rob and I made our own characters, Chastity and Tongo, these like disgusting crack-addicted couple that hates and loves each other. We had hours of fun in this city, and it was just like one of the highlights of my year, playing this disgusting, vile creature in this fantastically real world. Break my heart, I'll break your heart.
Got like top hats and monocles, and like, oh, quite so. It was a quality exchange.
This year there were so many amazing brawl-style games, from Smash to Nidhogg, there was Samurai Gun, Gang Beasts, but one of the ones that was played in the office so much was TowerFall, and there's a reason for that. It's because it just creates these insane rivals between people. Arrows are such a good weapon because they're the great equalizer. You don't really need power-ups. You can just be able to have a fantastic shot sometimes. Sometimes you can get killed by a fantastic shot. So it always leads up to these epic moments. I love that the world is alive in the arenas. A lot of times there's active platforms or things that come alive in the arenas that can kill you. It always leads for a surprise, and really, really fun to play amongst people that you love and hate. It would be impossible to not let Dark Souls 2 be on my list this year, because it impacted so much of my life. When I mean impact my life, I mean how many hours I had to dedicate to this game to even get remotely close to finishing it. It took so many hours, and each boss just more vicious than the next. There were a few that were just really amazing. There was this chariot boss that had these horses, and it's this tiny hallway. It's the kind of thing that when you beat him, you told your friends about it because it felt really cool and really powerful. No Man's Wharf had this boss that a lot of people actually didn't think was that tough, but I really struggled with it because water was filling the room. So if you took too long, by the time you were fighting him, you had water up to your waist, you couldn't dodge, and he was just impossible to beat. And I remember this so vividly because even though this is a solo game, there's a lot of social elements to it, from bringing in other people, strangers that come and help fight with you, but also in the real world. I remember having a beer with Vinny from Giant Bomb and telling him how much I hated this boss, and he gave me a lot of really good tips on how to beat him. So when I finally did that, I came back and had this like amazing story about how awesome I was and how I actually beat it. It felt really good, and so I love that you can find this solo campaign game that allows you to actually be incredibly social, not just in gaming, but also in the real world. And for my game of the year, which was a surprise to me, actually, ended up being Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls. And there's a million reasons why this just won me over. Malthius is just a vicious, disgusting boss. He is terrifying, and the cutscenes are so engrossing. There's like this part where he like rips the soul out of a dude and it hits the water and then it tries to swim away and Malthius like sucks him up anyway. It's so gross. It makes you really, really want to play. The items are sick and the developers don't even get enough credit for the art assets that they create. I was a demon hunter and I had a crossbow that was a skull that vomited yellow bile. It was so cool. The final chapter is the best chapter. You fight in heaven. It's gorgeous. It's way better than fighting in hell. It's absolutely beautiful, and it's just like the entire area is stunning. I love customizing my character's build with the runes, and I like just experimenting and testing them out. I swear I had the best rune, but it turns out if I switched it to a different one, my attack speed was so much faster that it just murdered people, and it ended up being like the perfect build for my character. And I was so excited that I got to like experiment and test that out and be rewarded for it. There's torment modes 1 through 6 so that you can like push yourself even further on the difficulty chain. Once you get to level 70, then there's Paragon levels so that you can just kind of make yourself even more badass. And I found a rainbow goblin who took me to Whimsydale, and that was just this ridiculous complete surprise where I was transported to a world of green fields and ponies and I slaughtered them. So it's just constantly filled with surprises. There's more surprises out there. There's so many things I haven't unlocked yet and I've already spent a lot of time into it and I can't wait to spend more time into it. And that's why it is my game of 2014. If you haven't picked it up yet because you didn't like it at first, pick it up again. It's better, it's worth playing, and I played it on console and it was awesome. So don't be afraid to play it on an Xbox One or PS4. The controller is just as good. It's awesome. It's such a good game. Play it right now, go.